Good evening. Good evening to all our listeners. Good evening, Trinidad and Tobago. Good evening to those listening to us in New York, London, Canada, wherever you are. Good evening. And you are listening to the Third Umpires. Today, on the show is myself, and I think one or two other umpires will be here shortly, but you are live and you can call us and have discussion. The discussion here is about what is in the news for the most part, but the show is designed to analyze it's the Third Umpires. It's a cricket show more or less, and I'm saying cricket, not necessarily cricket, but we use the analogy cricket. It's a show where we look at both sides of the political coin, the feeling side being the opposition and the batting side being the government in charge, and we look at their performance. We look at the news, we look at how things are playing out in the news and how things are playing out in the country. How you, the citizens and the listeners, how you feel about certain things. You can always chime in as the Third Umpire. You can always chime in also as a member of the Spectator, and you can give us your views, how you feel. This weekend was Mother's Day, of course, and today, throughout the world, we celebrate mothers, and of course, some will have good things to say about that particular time. Some did not necessarily have their children. Some would have lost their children. All kind of issues that thing. But in general, this weekend was Mother's Day, and I know mothers had a good opportunity to celebrate that, and families had a good opportunity to celebrate Mother's Day. Again, crime. I do like to talk about crime so much, not because it isn't happening or it's happening, but I mean it's becoming monotonous, saying the same thing over and over and over. It is clear that we have to do some work in Trinidad and Tobago, where crime is concerned. That is probably one of the Hercules heel of this government, because they did come in saying that they were going to deal with crime, and in general we saw some reduction in things like murders and that kind of thing last year to some extent. Well, not to some extent, a great extent. The problem is, or the challenge here is that at that time we lived through most of 2025 under a state of emergency, and many would say that was one of, you can't really judge the performance of the government by that, because that is like your thumbs on the scale of the whole thing and the whole scheme of things. So, we look on, the state of emergency continues, but crime is now on the increase. So we are trying to, certainly they are trying to resolve the situation, to arrest this particular situation where crime is concerned. But of course, if we're not dealing with the catalyst, the results will more or less be the same, or probably even worse, because crime is certainly graduating to different levels. People are doing more and more different becoming more and more creative to do things, to commit crime. And if we are not using the international sources, the international tools that are available, then we may have some issues, we may have some problems. And I'm saying this loosely because I am not aware, I am not seeing we are not hearing what exactly are being done to solve this kind of problem, except that we are hearing that there are plans. And we've been hearing that for years. For the last 20-something years, I've been hearing about all kind of plan to solve the operation Anaconda, all kind of different operation, but still they haven't been able to arrest the situation. So we look on, and as that being said, I saw, you know, people are dying still, and people just don't die from as a result of crime or criminal activities. I saw a gentleman in Tobago, I think it's this morning, he was waiting on transportation. He fell down in a drain, a freak accident, and he broke his neck, and he died. Um, so people are dying, and things are happening. It's Trinidad and Tobago, and that being said, it is a pleasure to be on the show today, and there is a lot to talk about. We wanted to make today, Monday, Financial Monday, we wanted to start to talk about things like finance, investments, how you organize your life for success, how you utilize sometimes some of the things you can't see. There's a old saying that the acres of diamonds are right in your backyard, and sometimes if you look there, you will be able to find it. And I'm talking about how do you do things out of the box things to earn a living, or to create prosperity. And that is something, that's a segment we want to start. I'm hoping that my other umpire will be here shortly, because he has the dictionary on that and how we will do that. But that is something that we would certainly want to talk about, and that's something we would certainly want to introduce to the show. As you know, the show is solution oriented, and whenever we discuss issues, whenever we discuss challenges, we always try to present some kind of solution to help you solve your problem as it relates to the issues that you are facing. When we, in desperate times, sometimes requires desperate measures, and we are really living in an era in Trinidad and Tobago where people are really trying to survive. Some may say that, people are earning more money. Some people are earning more money and that kind of thing, but it's still difficult to survive, because our average propensity to spend remains almost the same, but they're earning $20,000 a month or $4,000 a month. And the thing is, your normal, natural spending to survive, sometimes the income that you earn cannot cover that. So if you just consider the fact that persons who will have the same needs that you have, who are working, when they are not working, they have the same needs, and therefore they will need to survive too. So if in your opinion you're looking for a job, you're really looking for a job and you can't get it, but you're not thinking outside the box to earn an income outside of the sphere of doing crime and that kind of thing, then of course you will need to hear what we have to say on a Monday with regards to investments. And looking into that, that is a very serious thing, and that is something that you would want to listen to and hear what we have to say. We would probably invite some other professionals to talk about investments, and that is a segment that I think should excite you, right? Outside of that, we would continue talking about the issues on the other days, or even on Mondays, because we started this program talking about the batting and the bowling of both sides. We will continue doing that. But we've spoken, we are, for the most part, human resource management people and employment law people. And for the most part, sometimes we would try to introduce issues that can help you introduce cases or introduce ideas that, apart from in our dialogue, that can assist you as a worker or as an employer uh, on how you can, traverse that environment too, because you have problems, employers have problems sometimes, serious problems, and there are no textbook really that tells you how to, no manual that tells you how to run a business, or no manual that tells you how to, as an employee, how well you have a manual. You sometimes have a policy. You will have a policy document on how you what you could do or what you can't do. But if they were to put everything that you could do or can't do in that policy document, then that and all will be bigger than the Bible, because there are so many things that are critical and important for you to understand as an employer or even as an employee in the workplace. You can't put all that in writing, right? And one shoe does not fit all in this sphere of or this discipline of being an employee or being an employer. So that is something we try to do very often on the show also. Of course, you can call us on 342-0081 and 4665-391, so that we can probably, you can introduce your own issues, your own stories, your own challenges, or your own ideas or analyses of what's going on in the country. So again, this weekend was Mother's Day. I'd like to hear how you spend your Mother's Day, how you spend your Mother's Day with your mother, or how you as a mother what you would have experienced this particular weekend. This weekend was exciting for a lot of people, right? That too had its challenges, because if we consider everything that is happening right now in society, the fact that so many people are having challenges. Some people are out of work. Some people have some family-related issues. It is sometimes difficult to even celebrate moments like that, like Mother's Day and that kind of thing. There are people, some of us, sometimes we don't even understand that. There are people who are just living either paycheck to paycheck or just don't know where the next meal coming from. And if you understand that there are so many people, maybe too many people, who are just living like that, just trying to survive, then you would understand why some people might not being able to think outside the box on the other side will probably consider sometimes a life a crime, or do things that the shortcut that could sometimes get you in trouble or cause you to do criminal activities. Now, I'm not saying in any way that is one justifies the other, but it is just a reality that people sometimes need to survive. Some people do some really, really extraordinary things on the criminal side, and for God's sake, I could never understand it. Why people will do these things, but they do it anyway. Right? So that being part of us, we need to understand that on the government side and those in charge, I should say, on both sides, because as you know, 41 people makes up the parliament, and therefore on both sides, I hold all of them responsible for what is happening or what is not happening in Trinidad and Tobago. Not just the Baton side. The Baton side more, of course. But if they would just, and I say this all the time, if they would just come together to fix Trinidad and Tobago, all of them speaking the same language, or working together to get that done, then I feel that it will be much easier for things to get done or for things to happen. and when I say I hold all of them responsible, right? It is it is almost imperative that both the opposition and the government work together to solve the problems that we are having in Trinidad and Tobago. And it doesn't take much more out of the box thinking than probably you and I could think. If both parties work together as a team to, solve what's happening, Mr. Producer. We doing this today? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. So yeah. So that is it. I invite you to call the program, call me, and let's have a little discussion on some of the things that you will have experienced over the weekend as it relates to Mother's Day. Because without mothers, there will be none of us. Without Eve, with Adam alone, there would just be Adam. There would be no children, no nothing. And therefore, mothers are very, very important. And therefore, celebrating mothers, just like fathers are important, also important, but celebrating mothers is important. And therefore, what happened over the weekend with respect to Mother's Day, I would probably want to hear your stories. What would have stood out for you this Mother's Day? Good evening, caller.
Hello.
Yes. Good evening, caller.
How are you doing, right?
Good so far.
I listen you. I hear you talking about the unity now of the government and the opposition coming together. And Matterson, I would love that. I would love that because I know on both sides you will get ideas to get the country running in a better way. You agree with me?
Yeah.
And I would wish that happened. No, but when I look at the Parliament channel, you talk about the 41 responsible, right? And you even say the back end side a little more. Okay? When I look at the Parliament channel, I get the impression that they come and sit there with a certain mindset. And to me, it comes with whatever is happening, whatever bill is passed, whatever bill they introduce. You get the impression, I hope I'm wrong, as though one coming to outdo the next one. You know? You get that impression, sit down watching.
When really and truly, you should be seeing, teamwork. They work together to fix
listen, I dying for that. I did listen to some comments, and I just feel for that unity, I even heard the Prime Minister saying there this Saturday when they had their 1 year thing. It's a political war. If you understand. But I said, when you talk about the unit, the government, and I say that to say this, when they sit in the House of Representatives to pass legislation and things, I do believe that they have the population at heart. I believe they come there to show how much that we could outdo you, and I don't even know how to explain it, but I don't get that feeling then, that notion that they want to be unified.
But I think sometimes it have to do with the expectation of the citizenry. And that is, so you and I may be saying that because we understand that if they come together and they work together to fix Trinidad and Tobago, then there'll be less problems, there'll be less bickering. We'll be working together, so it means people will be more cooperative, more happy, and everything.
But let me just cut you here.
Mm-hmm.
You listen to somebody's statement even outside of the parliament,
Mm-hmm.
and you hear that warlike tone.
Correct.
That you against we. Listen, it's frightening.
Mm-hmm. And this is what I'm saying. You see, if people are culturalized to understand that working as a team or working uniting will take us further, faster, then people will be more. You're still hearing, and even in society outside of the parliament, we and them. You're still hearing that kind of talk.
Matterson, you believe you think we do? You believe you think we don't know happening and we don't listen to them and we don't have them in check and we don't know what they're about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe them thinking so. Matterson, we just see this civil for what it is. We're going down a dangerous road.
But we've been going down a dangerous road a long time, which is why we're here, which is why
Let me not go back now.
we are a very rich nation, with
I don't want to go all day.
yeah, just now, with plenty intelligent people, with plenty resources and that kind of thing. What we have is more than what three times our population could survive on.
Matterson, we are aware of all of this.
But here what? We're not uniting, we're not coming together
At
to
all,
utilize it properly.
you're not even seeing a glimmer of hope. I hear one telling the next day when they had the uproar, when the PLM walk out. Or they will be in opposition for the next 20 years. I hear a minister telling the other people that. And I don't know where's their mindset. But somewhere along the line, I want to feel them believe that this population, we don't know what's going on. And we're not keeping them in check and we're not paying attention. It's frightening. And we, the population, know, listen, if they just get unified, things will be so much better. Matterson, now go on. Again, somebody else had a chance to talk.
It's okay. Thank you, Kola. Yeah, so good evening again. Good evening, Mr. Gerard Janos. And before you came, I was just talking about the fact that we want to introduce Financial Monday. Is it Financial Monday? Money Monday, right? Money Monday. And that is supposed to bring a lot of enlightenment to the listening public on how to manage your money or how to earn money or to invest and trade and that kind of thing. And that to a large extent may probably ease some people in terms of understanding of how they spend their money, how they manage the limited resources that they may have from time to time, and how they get out of situations that they are in right now. Let me just take this call before KFC. We are in the last minute of the show, so I don't know. You want? Let me hear what your contribution is.
Good afternoon, Mackerson. What's going on, my brother? I must say happy belated Mother's Day to all the mothers. I say happy special Mother's Day to the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. I know you're going for the break. Mackerson.
Yeah.
Nobody in the back there tell it. I'm making my contribution to long I try to cut me off. They trying to cut off you.
Cut who off?
Because you a balanced program. You look at who battle and who bowling. Because I crying out and sing about the batting side. The brand behind the scenes saying telling next talk, so cut them off, we talking too long, like if I just talk long. So Mackerson, they like him for the last 9 years plus, And the boss man who wasn't the boss man, they like the kucha and the bacchanal, He come and tell the former talk shows on them that day. So they hold on to the bone. Marcus, I hope you're not in that for them, you know.
All right, so we're going for a break
Right.
now. When we come back, we will continue this, Mr. KFC. All right, so ladies and gentlemen,
You
we
got
take a break.
bills to pay, and so do we. Let's go pay some bills on the street 919 FM.
Peace of God be multiplied unto you in the precious name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. This is Redemption Hour, a gospel program where God will reveal His mind to you on how to live a fulfilled life and to please Him in all areas. Join Pastor Femi Afolabi, the National Overseer of Deeper Christian Life Ministry, Trinidad and Tobago, and other seasoned ministers for a time of divine encounter as they minister and pray for you every Saturday by 9 o'clock in the morning of this station, Street FM 91.9. Our church is Deeper Life Bible Church, number 1 Cochrane Street, opposite Tunapuna Police Station, Tunapuna. The times of our services are as follows: Sunday worship service, 9 a.m., Monday Bible study, 6 p.m., Thursday revival hour, 6 p.m. The redemption hour is a life-changing moment you cannot afford to miss. For special prayer or counseling, contact Pastor Femi Afolabi on 778-9933. God bless you as you listen to this program. Jesus is Lord.
TechFlex TT Limited, the #1 computer store in Trinidad and Tobago, has all your tech needs. We have the latest computers, powerful MacBooks, and affordable Chromebooks for school and work, providing new and refurbished options to suit everyone's budget. Also, we carry a variety of printer options and ink solutions for your home and office needs. Need repairs done? Our experienced technicians can solve your tech problems. Visit us now at any of our 2 locations, Wilson Road, Scarborough, next to Royal Castle, or Penco Street, Montrose, Chagonas. Call 235-4919 for more info. TechFlex TT Limited. Affordable tech. Exceptional service.
Blessings in the wonderful name of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. You are invited to listen to the Final Hour broadcast heard every Monday
from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. in the morning on the Street 919 FM.
Hear my mom, Pastor Helen Garcia, and myself, Pastor Valentine Garcia Jr., preach the Word of God to the elderly, youth, and children. We can be contacted at 629-0113 or 623-8444. The church is located at 26 Prince Street in Port of Spain. We look forward to you joining us. God bless you.
As my life I lay it on the altar, as my life.
It's a whole lot of flavor wrapped up in a twist. Some of them try to rap, but they don't rap like this. With crispy KFC tenders and lettuce and carrots and shredded tortilla embedded, perfect wherever you headed. Dripping with that creamy mayo and that mambo sauce. Let me tell them one more time to get my point across. It's a craveable, crunchable, movable, functional, flavorful meal that your taste buds must endorse. KFC, crunch twist, crunch twist. None of them, they don't make it like this.
Introducing KFC's Crunch Twist, a flavorful wrap with a delicious difference for just $29.95. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Share the live. Share the live. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the live. Iowa George on Instagram. Share the live. Iowa TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, listeners, we are back. And with me this time is Mr. Gerard Llanos. Gerard Llanos is a newly introduced umpire who is here, especially the fact that we can't be here all the time. So he is here often with us, and he shares the same position and views as we do. Right? So, Gerard?
Yes, sir.
So all of yours now. I already pour one for me in that.
So one it is.
He have one in one.
Sir, You want the same one?
Happens to be a favorite product of mine, man. I appreciate you so much.
So this evening, before we continue with the show, we want to talk a little bit about this good and natural instant ginger tea. And you know, I've heard a lot about ginger. I've heard a lot about ginger. I myself use ginger, and you know, that was one of the things long time growing up I didn't like, but now I like it in everything.
Yes.
But ginger is very, very good for you. I think it is a natural herb, antioxidant, and
Well, it's a root. It's an antioxidant.
Yeah.
It's an anti-inflammatory.
Anti-inflammatory, some similar to turmeric.
Yes.
But we have the good and natural ginger tea, right? And I see they have 3 flavors here. I want to taste it certainly. You have the with added sugar. You have the one with no added sugar, and then you have the one with I prefer the one with no added sugar, of course. And then you have the one with peppermint and honey. So we're going to try them.
Peppermint and honey.
We'll try them. Peppermint and honey, right? It is something that I think you should try too.
Which flavor you have?
I am drinking the peppermint and honey.
Well, I mean, I tell you something. I just smell the peppermint and honey and.
Yes.
Yes.
I love it. I taste the honey.
Yeah.
And I'm tasting also the peppermint with the ginger.
Apart from the taste, and the taste is excellent, is relaxing, but I mean the smell, boy, is an experience all on itself.
Yeah. Long time, your parents used to try to encourage you to use ginger. This is something I didn't like at all long time. But to make it in tea like this,
yes.
Yeah, it really is something.
Yes.
Good and natural ginger tea. The no added sugar blend, the with peppermint and honey blend, and of course the with sugar, added sugar blend. But this one tasting really, really potent. Again, it's strong peppermint, it's strong ginger, and of course it's honey. You know, some people can't drink thing without a sweetener in it.
Yeah.
This one has honey in it. And it's really nice.
It is.
So we will have that good and natural ginger tea to
so what
as a precursor to our program this evening.
I thought you just go for tea after the cricket.
No.
Or before the cricket.
No, I watch English cricket. Them drinking tea right through.
Right through.
Yes. So we were talking. We were talking about the Money Monday.
Money Monday. And what we see coming from Money Monday is, apart from talking, giving our listening public some ideas and some tips, we also want to, because that is a big part of the future of Trinidad and Tobago has to do with our economy. And there is absolutely a need for us to, I believe, have some dialogue with our institutions and our regulators, etc., for them to hopefully come in or call in and allow the umpires to put them through the paces in terms of asking some of those tough questions that maybe our members of the listening public never got the opportunity to clarify, and to understand what their options are as it relates to putting money to work for the prosperity of your family and for yourself. But I would say that in the same Trinidad and Tobago, where people do have money for groceries, there are people making more money than they ever made in their life.
Well, the thing is, I mean, as I was saying before, people really live, there are people who live from paycheck to paycheck because things are a lot harder. I mean, some people working on the same income in non-unionized environment and that kind of thing, working for the same income they've been working for the last 15, 20 years.
Correct.
And things have gone up astronomically, right, since that time.
Yes.
So it is sometimes difficult for people to, and there used to be a saying that You know, if you save 10% of income every month, save it, sink it some way. Every month you save 10%, but there are a few people who could do that because sometimes you need more than 100% more than what you're working for to survive, right? To do all the things you need to do. And even if you're working for plenty money, some people, one of the things I've learned is that everybody average propensity to spend is about the same thing. So if your mortgage is 30% of your income at $4,000, then and it will be plenty more if you're working for $4,000, right? But then your mortgage will be about the same percentage rate for any amount of money you're working for, because if you're working for $60,000 a month, you wouldn't live in a person working in a $4,000 a month kind of accommodation.
Or lifestyle inflation.
So it will be the same thing. But what I'm saying is, what I would like to hear is when you move to saving 10% or having 6 months income per down, you know, that those normal things, financial analysts will tell you have 6 months income per down, so in case you have an emergency, it's taking you more than 6 months now to get a new job. people in the job market. And 6 months income per down, sometimes going and get dust out as soon as because as soon as you lost your job, you have sometimes that things coming upon you, sometimes massive spending to take care of. You had to change your life, sometimes you get put out from ways, all kind of different issues. But I would like to hear what the experts have to say. I can say a few, and maybe you can say a few too. But what is the ethos of the Money Monday program?
So, in the first instance, I say without too much fear of contradiction that this is not the season to not have a business or not to have another stream of income. I believe that the age of being able to depend on a job to carry you through your life and give you a livelihood, I think that the power of that promise has been eroded by the labor market, by the economic conditions. Excuse me.
That ginger bringing all kind of thing.
Oh, but it's ginger. Good stuff. That promise has been eroded, and it is incumbent upon every man and woman who is listening to this show, or maybe not listening to this show, to make arrangements not only for their own prosperity but for generational wealth for their family. And if it is that you're coming out saying, well, I believe that I can get a job and I can live a comfortable, secure life by virtue of this employment, I don't think that promise holds as much water as it used to. So your options are hope for the best, and if it is that things don't go in your favor, fight for justice in front of the Honorable Industrial Court. Or do what many people are doing, which is to take the benefit of whatever employment they have and put it to work to create a secure future for themselves. And by and large, that has to mean entrepreneurship, and the government, both sides of both cricket sides have said that entrepreneurship is critical to the future of Trinidad and Tobago, its economy and its people. But I want to say to people that they have to use their employment, today's employment, to create tomorrow's business.
Well, some employers are very guarded with that, because some employers, you actually are not allowed to do a second job, because in some ways it might encroach. I just saying, is this not across the board? In some ways they may feel that it might encroach on their own the credibility of what you're doing. In some ways it might encroach on sleeping time and that kind of thing, and where you are may require you to be alert for 8 hours or 12 hours or whatever, and they just don't allow for that. Now, in truth and in fact, I remember I did a case a couple of years ago where a gentleman was working for a security company, and he didn't tell the company he was working somewhere else, and therefore when they put him to work day, he was just staying home, and that became a problem, and they was end up sending him home. And after they sent him home, he took them to court, and they obviously didn't follow all the correct procedures, but he took them to court, and the argument was that you can't work security and work somewhere else. You can't be working in the night but working in the day too, because your body need to rest, you need to sleep. And if we have you working here, we require you to be alert for the 12 hours that you're working, because then it will put our clients' business in jeopardy if you come to sleep. A lot of people, security officers, go to work to sleep. They work otherwise in the day and that kind of thing. What kind of business you think you can get in where you can make money while you sleep?
So in the first instance, do not sleep on e-commerce.
What is that?
Do not sleep on e-commerce. And e-commerce simply meaning that you sell a product online. And it is one of those situations that once you build the right brand and the right platform, it's very fire and forget. You know, I'm heavy on my AI. It's a contemporary issue right now where workers are doing 3 and 4 jobs at the same time. And they're being discovered sometimes. This is internationally, of course. And those companies, you know, most of them are employers. They keep employees at will, which does not exist under Trinidad and Tobago law. And what they have done is they have started firing these people for fraud. I believe that
fraud, they say?
Fraud. That's what they're saying. It says employment fraud, or it could be drawing 2 salaries at the same time.
But that's a normal thing in the US and that kind of thing. People work 2 and 3 jobs to survive.
Well, in this particular instance, we have people who are not only working 2 and 3 jobs, but excelling at 2 and 3 jobs.
Now, if you're saying you give me a disclaimer, you give me something to sign saying that I can't do that, and I end up doing it still in creative ways. I could say that, but who would want it to prohibit you outside of what we spoke about the first time, the security company or whatever? Will want it to prohibit you from making decent money, unless you're paid me that kind of decent money to start with. But then again, that is a good case for small business, and that's a good case. Like to do what I did a couple of years ago. I decided I can't work for nobody. I go and work for myself, and I started my business.
Yes.
And today it's still running. I was never able to not pay my bills, and I'm surviving.
Lucky fella, boy.
No, I mean, I not luck. I mean, you plan out your thing.
Yeah. I know I'm going to say you're a lucky fella. I mean, there are many, entrepreneurship, of course, is not for the faint of heart. And I mean, there are people who may have a smooth go of it. For instance, yourself, and there are people who might have a rough go at it. For instance, myself. There are people who may have been, and we see several of them right now in Trinidad and Tobago, who at some point were doing very, very, very well. And right now, they're not doing as well, or they're not doing good at all. And they're trying to figure out how to find a new normal.
No, I mean, I read so many different books on this kind of thing, success and that kind of thing. And something I'd want to see to even kick this kind of discussion off is that to become successful, you need to study successful people. And you need to try to do what successful people do to become successful. Because you see, on the road to success, there are a number of failures. You will have failed several times before you actually start succeeding, because it's hard work. Success is hard work. And the other thing is, sometimes just about, one thing a coach always used to tell me, say, the darkest hour is just before dawn.
Let me say...
And he used to say, if you, sometimes just when you're about to give up is when you're about to succeed. So you just had that kind of tenacity, that kind of stick-to-itiveness to succeed. And you will succeed, no matter what.
I want to take the opportunity to send greetings to one of my mentors in business and in finance, Mr. Winston Williams. He's the current CEO of Pan American Life in the Caribbean.
Mm-hmm.
And he always used to tell us in Monday morning meeting, sometimes it could take 30 years for it to become an overnight success.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You just had a strike on thing.
Yeah. Say way, but he lucky. You didn't see the 30 years he was putting it in.
They say, yeah, exactly. So people just see the, people just had a tendency of just seeing, they want to do what you doing.
No.
But when they see you succeeding, they start saying all kind of thing about you. They don't even know what he was doing, how hard he was working, how nights he was not sleeping.
Yeah.
This same guy that I spoke about, he said that, listen, he said, he gave me the story of the Chinese bamboo once.
Mm-hmm.
He said the Chinese bamboo, you plant that.
Yeah.
And he said for months, you just wet in the ground where you plant it.
Yeah.
And you even know, people want to know if you're going mad. They even know why you met it. He said the tree small, it even moving.
Yes.
He said, but all below, down the ground is spreading. And you can't see that. So you thinking that ain't going nowhere, you wetting that in the vein, and then one day, you just get up, and it taller than you.
Yep.
And I mean, that's an analogy. But what I'm saying is, success is like that.
Yep.
You don't see it overnight.
No.
Anything is overnight is luck.
Yeah.
And even luck is not what we think. You don't get lucky. Luck is opportunity meeting preparation. You understand? So the thing is, I mean, people really need to, when we talk about all the things that are happening in Trinidad and Tobago, all the things we see every day, a lot of it have to do with greed. A lot of it have to do with people wanting things quicker than they should get it without working hard for it. A lot of it have to do with selfishness. A lot of things have to do with people not understanding what is success and failure, and people thinking failure is failure and they just fail. A lot of it have to do with all those things. And sometimes we just have to look beyond and try to have the tenacity to stick it out, to get focus on where you want to go, and just get there.
Mr. Matheson, this tea real nice,
yeah, good and natural ginger.
Good and natural ginger and pepper. Give it. You see this ginger, peppermint, and honey?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this is the one. I taste I just know how it tastes the one with no added sugar. But the peppermint and honey,
yes.
Tasting the peppermint, it tasting the ginger, and of course again that nice.
It's absolutely saying something.
Yeah.
So this is why it's really important at some point as we make this Money Monday segment a little more formalized. It's important for us to bring in the stakeholders in our financial system, because one of the great problems we have in Trinidad and Tobago is a financial literacy problem. And that financial literacy problem extends to the person who is just trying their best to survive on a $3,000 or $4,000 a month, and it goes all the way up to sometimes the multi-millionaires. And one of the things I always point to is that you ask an average person about life insurance. Life insurance is a scam. You ask that same person about
I used to think so long time ago. I used to think life insurance is a scam.
But this is the thing. You ask them about drugs, susu, and they want to know when and where. And go soon.
You see the problem with that?
Yes.
Is that in Trinidad and Tobago, for whatever reason, boy, we just believe in instant success, boy. We believe in magic, boy.
Yeah, boy.
We believe in magic. That's why we have so much crime.
It's true.
Because people want it instantly.
Correct.
They want to work for it. They want it quicker than normal. You know, when I was growing up, when I was in university and we was studying things like psychology and that kind of thing, you talk about the consciousness and the id and the ego.
Yeah, the super ego.
And the super ego.
Yes.
And the it is instant gratification.
Yeah.
So a child want to go off, just do it instantly. Them just go off in the diaper. That's how we is a kind of mental diarrhea with adults who committing crime and things. Them just want it instantly. They want to work for it. They've seen that man who's selling burger. He started off small with 2-3 people coming by him, and now we have people line up. And they understand the kind of work that man put in there to get there. The same thing with all the other small businesses, the kind of risk people take to get businesses. And sometimes you see some people get, I don't want to say lucky, but they were more prepared and they put certain things in place, and therefore they do things that would make them become more visible, and people want to sample the products, and they have a good product. And therefore, people telling people about it, and people want to come back for more. It's like a corn soup man or whatever. The thing is, people just have to know that there is an investment, and they have to know that they have to work it. You can't just put it on and think it will happen instantly. And that is something that Trinidad and Tobago need to know. But also, not everybody will have the basics or even the finances to just get into a business just so. So we need other things. I mean, when we start inviting persons to talk about these kind of things on this program, we had to think about also things like venture capitalists, you know, people who are willing to invest in people and partner with them to get into business.
And it is something that, a good afternoon to Mr. Roland Ansing. He's definitely doing the Lord's work in the venture capital ecosystem of the Caribbean. And he's definitely been a great mentor to me as a young tech founder in the game. And, you know, we always talk about how tough the venture capital space is to Caribbean entrepreneurs. You know, it's a hard place to get money. The banks aren't friendly to startups.
Not in Trinidad.
And NEDCO does not lend at the moment. There are very small grants that you could get. You could get, I think, $25,000 from social development. With very few grants available. So you have to be very inventive. And then now you know I am in the global space. Me personally, my company, we assist people in starting up companies in different parts of the world. And even in that sense, as a Trinidadian or a Caribbean founder, starting, for instance, a US company or a UK company, a lot of grants and loans and situations that US nationals or UK nationals could access, you can't access those as well. So there are possibilities, but you have to be that much more inventive to raise capital, to do the things you have to do. But I would say, however, that nothing beats the ability to sell and put a product or a service in somebody's hand, because sometimes you can sell your way into where you want to be. And I always use the example of we have many doubles people and many pie people, and they will get up at 1 a.m. and fry 3,000 barra and hit the road. Sometimes they eat that barra when they come and eat it or throw it away. But sometimes you get through and you start to get to the point.
Because it's not like you could go and buy barra, and if they sell it, you could go and get back
you can't get back people the barra. So you're buying barra, you're frying barra.
That's something in marketing too.
Yeah, you had to be able
to
get out there.
As you say that, something I thought about is a certain psychology.
Yes.
Is a certain psychology about buying doubles too. You ever notice, if you see 15 people stand up in front of a doubles vendor, and you see nobody standing up in front of you, one next to him, you notice everybody will still come and go and stand up by the 15 people.
Correct.
tight marketing. So if you smart, you pay a few people to come and stand up by a double, call the double box.
No for no, yeah, the hottest doubles in town.
No for no, yeah, the hottest double. People don't even know why they want to buy it.
Yeah.
I just saying.
Yeah.
That might be a good be a good marketing scheme.
I do feel when we imagining what future Money Monday is going to look like. And one of the things I already asked publicly, he said yes publicly, but we have to talk privately. Our good friend Gio, and I mean Gio is a very good example of a self-made entrepreneur. Sometimes he finds himself in a little hot water in the public space, but the point of the matter is he built a successful clothing line, and now he is in the soup business. He also has a car wash, and he's very vocal about his entrepreneurial journey. And maybe that vocalness gets him some hate, but there are not enough people willing to talk about what it takes to build a business, what it really takes to build a business.
And we talk about some of it, but really, apart from, some of the richest people never went to university like myself.
Correct.
And they just was able to read the tea leaves and understand business and take risk. Some of them were lucky, but some of them just did it and they succeeded.
Yes.
But they did what all successful people do, right? They worked through the process. They had failures, right? And they never give up.
Correct.
You understand?
Yes.
So the thing is, I mean, if that by itself is not an incentive to probably look at, select any idea, anything you think you could get into. I know people, like one of our fellow umpires who are usually here, he told me that he got into a business with shoes. He went to China. He saw a particular brand of shoes they have there, they're making. He looked at it, he went to the factory, he see what they're doing and thing, he liked the shoe. And he said this will work in Trinidad and Tobago. And he get China to put his brand name on it.
Of course. Own labeling.
Labeling it.
Yeah.
Right? Because everything is about label. And he get containers of it and everybody is buying it.
Yeah.
And he was turning over that kind of money.
Always to make
and
a dollar.
And you have like the Exim Bank and all these places. I mean, I would want to hear what opportunities are there available through these kind of financial institutions to fund businesses that or people that are wanting to do, these kind of business. Because to me, in Trinidad and Tobago, we do not have much innovation in Jamaica, making things ourselves. But you don't necessarily have to reinvent the wheel. Everybody can make things. So you could get the things that people are making, and if it has a need, a real need, create a need and try to make for it, and make some money from it. Make more money than the person who created it.
So there is such a thing as value add. And we will never be able to make a monitor, for instance, better than China. We can't do coffee cups better than Malaysia, for instance. We have to see where we are efficient, and one of our great efficiencies is culture.
So it's called comparative advantage of trade.
Comparative advantage of trade. Yeah. We definitely have to harness those efficiencies and push them forward. And one of the great efficiencies that we have is our culture and our creativity. We might be able to produce the product at a lower price, but we could give that product a spin that is absolutely unique. I saw it said, somebody TikTok over the weekend. A man went to buy arepas in a Venezuelan coffee shop, and he say, this is the first arepa that he ever eaten in his life that have this flavor. He say this is a Trini arepa. And the thing about Trinidad and Tobago culture is that it will grab whatever is a part of its culture, and by the time the culture as it gets its hand on it, it's a whole different product, it's a whole different experience. Yeah? And I think that is absolutely true. Yeah? So how do we feel about, if we had a steady conversation, because this happening right now, Venezuelan migrants are here, opening businesses and prospering.
And not only opening business, I understand some of them take with doubles and all over up the islands and things with it.
Correct.
Opening doubles places. I mean, we not the seen us opening arepas and all these things. We need to
we should
to start a spread.
We should. You know what I mean? This is the thing about that migrant energy. Because you know what? When our nationals, our Trinidad and Tobago people put ourselves out there, we excel. By and large, when Trinidad or Caribbean people out there, they excel in the workplace, they excel in business. Sometimes more treasure than people who are living there or born there or whatever the case is.
We excel in working for people.
Well, we excel working for people, we excel working for ourselves as well. And funny enough, I feel like that verve, that ambition, the people who are here sometimes don't fully embrace it. But when we go out there, we become the best versions of ourselves. And I want to encourage somebody who's hearing me right now, be the best version of yourself right here every day. Be the best version of yourself on your job. Be the best version of yourself on your business. Be the best version of yourself in your schooling.
I know one thing for sure, the best version of yourself is when we go to New York and we had to cross the road.
Ah, boy.
Be the best version of yourself.
If you know, you know.
We the best version of ourselves.
Yes.
You ever notice on by city gates, you're coming on, you really see the green light and people running across that light?
Yeah. We're not so lawless outside.
Yeah, we ain't so lawless crossing the road out there. Because you stick here, you get the click out there.
Oh yeah. I mean, we you know, a simple thing, we don't know well enough not to litter.
I was reading a story just before I came on with a woman who was asked to pick up a cigarette somewhere on Charles Street somewhere, and she didn't want to pick it up, and she was arrested. I think more of that had to start happening. They had to start treating us the same way like when they wanted us to start wearing seatbelt.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
They have people who will walk the street and just throw things out there. Throw things on the road, like not understanding that, hey, rainy season, all them things throwing out the road will cause you self to get flooded out.
So, you know, I believe that so let's say that we tell a litter warden, and this is our policy, you tell a litter warden, here what's going on, you are working for no salary. Every fine that is paid goes straight in your pocket.
No, not every fine.
Every fine.
The state had to make money too. You are working 20% of every fine, go in your pocket. That wasn't going to be a million.
Gosh, what's that? And you like go that little warden in front of a camera. They put on the glasses so none shall escape.
That's a real idea.
Yeah?
That's ideas.
No, and I mean...
And then people let the time again.
No, definitely
and
not.
you raise the fine.
Of course. So if a man litter or you know...
What is the fine for the time right now? About $1,000?
Nah, not so little. 10,000.
No. 10,000?
Yeah.
Serious?
Yeah.
For the time?
Yeah, but nobody will enforce it.
$10,000?
$10,000, sir.
Where I live in, boy?
Yeah.
So if you throw something out your car, you'll get 10,000 fine?
$10,000.
Nobody again. See that idea, give the letter warden.
Yeah.
And being paid a percentage.
Letter warden working on commission.
So you're right, on
until
commission.
the country clean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Letter warden on commission.
Yeah. Letter warden on commission.
Don't even pay me no salary. I just sitting down waiting.
Yeah.
Patiently. As you drop something.
No. You know, I little while I go and lie down on Charlotte Street under something in some old rag, smear some dirt on my skin, kill you there as a piper. And I'm watching you the minute you drop them old box on the road. 10,000, 10,000, 10,000, 10,000. Yeah.
And you're getting 2,000 from everyone.
Oh boy. It has solutions, you know. But you know what the people go say? Oh God, or they wouldn't go and find the bandit on them, or they try to victimize the people who throw in garbage on the ground.
But that's a crime too.
Yeah. But that is the argument, you know?
That's a crime too. And not only is a crime, but it's something, it's a miscreant, it's causing problems. You throw garbage, you throw all them bottles and that kind of them thing go down in them manhole and thing. When you're inside a fall, brother, people going and lost millions because they're going and get flooded out.
They do.
And you see this kind of dry season we had here?
You know the other side.
The other side of that is wet season.
Yeah.
And that wet season look like it over here.
Yeah. So you know we the science behind floods. You don't worry about the rain, the 1 year rain and the 2 year rain. When they get 5 year rain and 10 year rain and 25 year rain. And the floodplain go up and they're looking for a place to go, and all it's meeting is old styrofoam cup and rum bottle from last year carnival. You know, so I think that the government is trying to be a little proactive with clearing our waterways and widening our waterways and
I've seen
ahead
that
of.
I've seen that.
So I think that, you know, they're trying to be as prepared as possible for what could be a bumper wet season, but we know that there's a level of rain that could fall that no amount of open drain and no amount of clear waterways could actually block for. But we want to give the water the best chance to reach the sea, and we could do that by not littering, you know, protecting vegetation, doing things that preserve the groundwater and preserve the ability of the soil to soak up water, you know. So there are things that could be done, and we have to do them. We gotta love our country, and sometimes I feel like we just say we love the country, but we don't act like it. You know, I want to see some more love action for the patriots of Trinidad and Tobago. And I feel like we full of patriots. I feel like them patriots just lose their way sometimes.
Yeah, and the thing is, as you say, first thing I didn't know the fines for littering is $10,000. I still have to see that. Is really that?
Yeah.
Okay. So the problem here is enforcement.
Correct.
So I could understand why they would carry to that, because we really have a little problem when in rainy season. But it makes no sense carrying it to that and not enforcing it.
Well, I mean,
so maybe that episode that I read there must be probably the beginning of the enforcement. It will give police or litter wardens or whoever incentives to enforce it, because people need it to be told, hey, what you're doing is the wrong thing.
As I tell you, the minute it starts to make financial sense for somebody to make sure this crime goes away, it will go away. A tea, a good and natural tea is on your mind, sir.
Yeah.
Ah, boy.
You know, it have one with I ain't seen that one here. What is this here? This one in here. But we have good and natural ginger tea with added sugar. We have the one with peppermint and honey, and we have the one with no added sugar. So after the break, we will take a taste of the good and natural ginger tea with no added sugar, because we of course drank the one with honey and peppermint. That one tasted really, really good.
Indeed.
Yeah. So yeah. So we were saying that people need to become more financially aware. It's not just about earning money and spending it, right? You could spend it creatively and get the same kind of gratification from it, and also have something. What's the best form of investment now?
Depends on your goals. Depends on your goals. So your best definition of an asset, something that makes money for you, doesn't cost you money. So the underlying premise of becoming wealthy is investing in assets.
Well, assets is cost, yeah. Assets is cost you in depreciation one and it's cost you in acquiring it.
My
But you have to be able to make more money from it. So for instance, a depreciation asset might be a motor car that you're not using to
make money.
To make money with.
Yes.
Right? So talk about an asset in those terms.
So the only way to measure an asset is the asset causing you to make income. So for instance, I know people personally, I'm from Point Fortin, from the Wild Belts. I know people crane, depreciate down the crane with $25,000. But every time that crane go out,
making more than that.
It's $5,000-6,000. So the asset itself depreciate to next to nothing. But the fact of the matter is I have a crane to rent. I could build a house, I could build a building, wherever the case is. So the regardless of the value of the asset bring in cash. So there are many people who will say buying cars is a terrible investment. But tell that to the man who has 15 cars on the road.
No, well, buying a car just to drive from point A to point B. I don't even want to say in Trinidad because
anyway,
in Trinidad, people just need a vehicle. We have a woefully poorly set up transportation infrastructure.
Yes.
Right? So even if we take what the government is trying to do with getting people from Port of Spain to south of Port of Spain, that is not enough. Public transportation, bus is not reliable enough, I'm being told. I haven't traveled on one for a while now. Taxis are very expensive and it's not probably the best form of transportation. The probably cheapest and most efficient is Tobago to Trinidad and Trinidad to Tobago. Right? But in any case, it is not enough to make Trinidad and Tobago more productive. Because you see what happens on a morning on the road and rush hour.
I don't know if you
if you're trying to go to Arima now, you're trying to go south now.
You might sooner. If you leave Port of Spain 4 o'clock to reach Tobago, and you reach Port of Spain 4 o'clock to reach Point Fortin.
Right. So
there's a very good chance you will reach Tobago before you reach Point Fortin.
Long before. Right? And the thing is, I mean, the thing is that we need to, when we talk about the transportation system, we need to address that significantly. Because in a more serious way, we really need to address that. Because it is woefully inadequate. And therefore, cars, that same asset we call depreciating asset, people just have to buy that. People just have to have a car. Sometimes more than 2, 3 in the family, because everybody might be going to work the same time, but everybody needs to get to work when they need to.
And I mean, it really is insane what.
So it's creating more traffic on the road.
Yeah.
And more road rage and everything.
More road rage.
At the same time, you have an asset and not working for you.
And again, it comes down to, is me mobile making me money? And for some people, the answer is yes.
Well,
and for some people, the answer is no.
Well, yeah, the answer will be yes, because for some people, be able to get them to work faster, it's able to get them to where they need to go less more cost effective, and it also gives them that convenience that they could go when they want and come when they want. And so that in itself is an incentive to do it.
Yes.
But you was talking about doing it, and and at the same time maintaining your asset and making some money on it also. So if you pull bull in the evening, some people just do that.
It's an asset,
right?
Yeah. if you pull it,
no, but it's an asset anyway because it's saving your money that you would otherwise be spending. If you used to like break it up, Just
I don't know.
Just now.
I
just
don't
now.
know.
If you was paying, you're going like Port San Fernando, Port Spain to San Fernando, and you're burning, let's say, you're burning $40 a day. I just say, right? Because I feel like, but why you might be burning a day? $45 a day. Right?
Yeah.
Might be a little more.
Would be nice.
Right? Might be a little more.
Yes.
And so that gas is cost is keeping you on the road for about 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Before you fill up again and you pay about $300 to fill up. But you come in with your whole family.
Yeah.
It's saving all the what's the price you go San Fernando with that taxi go and come?
22 one way, one person.
Right. So that is if it's you alone,
Yeah.
you already save $40, but you save $40, but you burn back that $40 and then you have to take into consideration the value added or the price you would pay on your convenience.
Mm-hmm.
So anyhow you take it as an asset, but it becomes more of an asset to you if more of a depreciating, a better, less depreciating asset, well, more depreciating asset, but an asset where you could make more money if you was doing something else with your car in the evening. After you reach where you're going, or even if you're coming down the road and you're empty, you pick up about 4 people and charge them to come home.
So that brings us to a good question. If it is that we're saving money on something and we're not utilizing the money to do something, that money is a return on investment or is not a return on investment?
Which, when
so
it's
let's use the same car example.
Mm-hmm.
So let us say you're traveling and traveling costing you $100 a day.
Mm-hmm.
You buy a vehicle for $40,000, and now your $100 a day come down to $30 a day before maintenance.
So you're saving $70.
You're saving $70 a day. That's $70 a day that you're not spending because you're on the road.
But you're already saving $70. You're saving, you had to add wear and tear and everything because at the end of the day, at some point in time, you had to maintain the vehicle. So if you're just adding an next $10,
but nobody is doing that maths. The bottom line is what you were spending on passage, you're not spending it again. You have other things to spend, but nobody doing that maths. Let me just say that on average, you're saying, wait, boy, I spend 40 grand on this car, I might not maintain it in between, but that whole $100 a day I used to jump out, which is $2,000 a month in passage. Now I'm down to $800 a month in gas. And I'm hoping the maintenance they go too bad. If it is you not putting that $1,000 that you're not spending on passage to work, is it a return on investment? Is it really savings?
well, yeah, it's savings because you're getting some value added from the $1,000 still.
You
might buy something else with it. You might buy something to make you more convenient or to earn you some business or to something. The trend might have a better anything where your standard of living or your becomes better. Is that a good return on investment?
But I'm not saying that it's not a good thing, you know. But we are measuring all of these conversations through the lens of wealth creation. It is a matter of are the things that I am doing on a daily basis making me more wealthy or less wealthy?
Yeah, sometimes it's intrinsic. You can't really see it, but you can feel it.
No, you can put up, you know, like there are people who who think, for instance, and I see this a lot in Point Fortin. People, 20 years, 30 years, they're doing it. They're up 3 o'clock in the morning. They're on the bus half past 3 or 4 o'clock, whatever time the first bus leaves Point Fortin. They're in Port of Spain by 6.
Okay, but
and they do that 5 days a week, 52 weeks a year, for 20 years. Because I have my own house. But you're spending 5 hours on the road every day. Does the value add up? As opposed to you have a space close to your job. You're able to invest in education, you're able to invest in a social life, you're able to invest in good health and exercise, recreation, etc., etc., etc. You have a better quality of life. You have better use of your time. You know, your time is the finite resource, right? So, is renting a space close to where you work a good financial move or a bad financial move? And those are things that we could debate all day. And there are people who make the commute every day from remote areas of Trinidad to Port of Spain, and they go back and forth every day. Every day they're in traffic, and they live with it.
But why will you say that is not a good investment?
Well, for me, I can't speak for anybody else. But for me, there is value in I could finish my normal daily duties and I could come and spend some quality time as an umpire on the Third Empire show. Yeah? There is value in I can, if associates of mine are having a cup of good and natural tea this evening at the Hyatt Regency, that I could join them and we could have a discussion over a cup of tea that may have hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars in value to me.
It sounds like you want to check the good and natural ginger tea people.
Yeah, boy. I want to check them.
What you want to do? You want to sell a good and natural ginger tea for them?
Listen,
you use the ultimate salesman.
I was an entrepreneur to my heart, you know. Yeah, I only check me for this good and natural tea. I just saying. Yeah, it may be that, you know, if it is good afternoon to my lovely wife Natalie, maybe if I was on the road 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours every day, I could have never get to meet and date and eventually marry my lovely wife.
Right.
These are all critical elements of life. I'm always on the road, so I'm not in the gym. I'm too tired, so I can't cook. I'm having 2 doubles breakfast, 2 doubles for dinner, and I'm grabbing some food, some KFC during the day. By my late 30s, my Archie's Club.
So you see, listen.
Yeah.
You can't talk that on this program. Yeah, so you're saying that I don't understand. So if you're saying that
I'm saying for me, I can't talk that for nobody else.
you,
for me,
traveling was a good thing.
For me, what I am saying is that being close to where I am earning.
Oh, right.
Yeah? There are people who choose to be far for many good or bad reasons.
No, there are good reasons why people would want to maintain with a living, or if you live in Gandhi or whatever.
Yes.
You got a job in town. You want to live Gandhi? That's your
choice.
It's
your choice. But I am just pointing out my reasons why that couldn't have worked for me. If
everybody wanted to live in the city close to where they're working, things would, inflation would increase. When you have high demand for something, the price of it goes up because it becomes scarce.
Yes.
Right? So housing and rent and all that kind of thing will not go up, defeating the whole purpose of moving anyway. I just saying.
Sure, and I mean this is one of those economic situations that we have to speak about. You know, DOMA and all these other institutions have been lamenting the death of Port of Spain over the years.
For them, you see all nice laugh until striving right now.
Of course it is.
And move on all them places.
Yes.
Looking real good. Looking starting to look like Westmoreland.
Yeah, as it should. It's beautiful property.
So you let Doma and them talk the talk now, man.
But don't we want a thriving capital city? We should.
Of course.
Yeah. And part of a thriving capital city is that people need to live in Port of Spain. And that's part of the problem. People have been moving out of Port of Spain. People are moving into Port of Spain. We don't have enough housing in Port of Spain. And this has an impact on the business within our capital. It's a whole other story by itself. I seen the red timer ticking down, man. 20 seconds.
So ladies and gentlemen, we we will invite you to join us in the conversation in the next hour, but we are on the final seconds of this hour. So we will, on the other side of the hour, you will join us and we will have these kind of discussions.
You've got bills to pay, and so do we. Let's go pay some bills on the street 919 FM.
There's some advice when you hear it, you know one time is good advice. My granny tell me a hot cup of good and natural ginger tea first thing in the morning does wonders for the body. Good and natural ginger tea in its single-sized packets is excellent for flavoring your cooking, salads and desserts. But what was news for me is when my granny say a hot cup of good and natural ginger tea helps with nasal congestion and colds, stomach problems, migraine headaches, and it's really good for arthritis in the body. Made from freshly crushed ginger root to get that strong ginger taste and aroma so soothing. Good and natural ginger tea available with or without sugar, so all you need is boiling water to get a cup going. As the old people say, don't take flambeau to see the night what you could see clear in the day. Good and natural ginger tea. Good advice to start your day right.
Mondays looking real good. Munchy Mondays at KFC. Get one piece of that signature chicken plus a regular side for just $19.95. Small price, big satisfaction. Start the week right. It must be KFC. Order now via the KFC TT app only. Follow KFC Trinidad and Tobago WhatsApp channel for all the deals.
Is a whole lot of flavor wrapped up in a twist. Some of them try to rap, but they don't rap like this. With crispy KFC tenders and lettuce and carrots and shredded tortilla embedded, perfect wherever you headed. Dripping with that creamy mayo and that mambo sauce. Let me tell them one more time to get my point across. It's a craveable, crunchable, movable, functional, flavorful meal that your taste buds must endorse. KFC, crunch twist, crunch twist. None of them, they don't make it like this.
Introducing KFC's Crunch Twist, a flavorful wrap with a delicious difference for just $29.95. KFC, it's finger licking good.
Share the live. Share the live. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the live. Iowa George on Instagram. Share the live. Iowa TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, you can certainly join us if you are listening to the program. We're talking about this is the introduction of what Money Monday.
Money Monday.
And we're talking about investment, how you can get out
of Money Monday.
How you can get out of your wherever you are and the challenges you may be having. We'll be introducing people or commentators, or I should say experts in finance and that kind of thing, to also talk about the best form of investments and different ideas that you may have to get out of your challenges. But we are also drinking some good and natural ginger tea.
Ah, boy.
And before we tried the with added peppermint and honey, and now we are drinking the one with no added sugar. If you can see us,
yes.
No added sugar, good and natural ginger tea. The only thing about this,
yes.
I just have
yes, say it out loud.
No, I just have some sleeping problems sometimes, but I feel this will be good for that, because I'm drinking this and I'm feeling kind of
relax, kind of way, boy.
Yeah, relax. I was like, is that some kind of drugs in the thought?
I walk in here wired. I drinking coffee whole day. I an adrenaline rush.
And this one with no added sugar. This one tasting really, really good. It tasting the ginger in it. Actually tasting ginger in this one. So good and natural ginger tea, people.
Tastes like Christmas.
If you're listening, you need to get this. This working really, really good. It's making me feel kind of relaxed.
Mellow.
So we were saying, call us. You can call us on 342-0081 if you are listening. You don't necessarily have to stick to the script. If you have an issue and you want to talk about this is the cricket show, this is the Third Empires, and you want to talk about something else, you want to have us venture into probably
your favorite topic.
Your favorite topic.
Crime.
You could also call us on 342-0081 or 466-5391. we're in the final hour, and we are certainly talking about money.
So you see Republic Bank walk back the rate increase for the time being.
For the time being.
For the time being.
And then they hit it on me again when we are looking.
So I hope that, and a good afternoon to Mr. Tanku, our Minister of Finance. And I hope that...
I relax.
You relax?
Mm-hmm.
I hope that the bank, the central bank will begin to exercise some more influence over the banking sector in terms of how they support small business, especially because NETCO is now taking a pause on lending to the small business community. I think it's important to stimulate banking supporting smaller businesses. It's something that's done all over the world. All over the world, they recognize the importance of the small business sector to the growth of the economy. And we need to make sure that our aspiring business class can access capital to do the needful. Yeah? Because the problem is that that existing businesses, they don't have a capital problem. Well, I mean, of course, everybody has a capital problem. But the bottom line is if you're already in business and you're already bankable, you can access capital. And that creates a disparity between those who are already in business and those who are now trying to get into business. So, we want to create an even playing field where the brightest entrepreneurs can get a fair shot at getting the businesses off the ground and creating employment and opportunity in the country.
So, banking, I want to play devil's advocate here. So banking is a business just like all other business.
Correct.
And their stock in trade, of course, is lending money and getting it paid back with a certain amount of interest.
Yes.
So that's how they earn their money. Now, if you have a bank, and that's how you earn your money.
Yes.
What you think is the best thing, the best scenario for you to be able to earn that money back? Lending money to someone who could pay you back that money, or who will have it's a risk, anyhow you take it. But who will have the better, you will lend to the person who have the best chance from when you look at their situation, you look at their cash flow projections or whatever, who have the best opportunity based on their plan to pay you back. Right? And not just based on your plan, but the banks don't look at just your plan. The bank would look at your
5 C's, yeah.
Your status, or Why would the bank lend to a risky business?
Well, the short answer to that is they wouldn't.
Good.
On their own, as businesses, the bank's position is absolutely reasonable. However, we have to be mindful that banks, commercial banks, enjoy a special status in our economy. They enjoy a special status in our system, our financial systems. Banks do well for that special status. So we're talking about our commercial banks routinely have high $100 million, if not $1 billion quarters before tax. Yeah? Now, if we have to create growth in our economy, that growth has to be facilitated by these special actors. And it's the only people who create those opportunities or facilitate those opportunities in different spaces where we are stimulating small business activity are the commercial banks. Whether you're talking about the US with SBA loans, you're talking about entrepreneur loans and entrepreneur grants in the UK, many different countries. The government puts things in place to make sure that capital, or the institutions that control capital, give small business owners a chance to grow. And they achieve those things mainly through, whether it's the Federal Reserve or Central Bank, Bank of England, whatever the case is, they put systems in place to, I don't want to say force, but to maneuver the bank into putting some of their gains into the small business sector. And let me think about it for a second. Republic Bank just declared upwards of $1 billion in quarterly profits.
So you say they could be they should be a good corporate citizen and want to.
So let me just say for a second that you could see before your raising rates go into effect, you make $1 billion in a quarter. You telling me that it's too much to take $50 million and put that into a small business fund, especially if it's a small business fund where the government is helping you control your risk. $50 million in startup loans and support and this and that and the other.
But then they will say that the government tried Netco and all that kind of thing, and to a large extent it didn't work because you see what's happening now.
So
why not encourage venture capitalists?
So venture capitalists, we want to encourage it by all means, but who are the VCs, and are the VCs running, are people who are starting businesses running scalable businesses? And I went into, good afternoon again to Roll, but I couldn't ask a better mentor. Roll tells me when he saw what I came into Founders Institute with, he told me, Gerard, this is not a scalable business. Go back to the drawing board. This is cool, but Gerard, this is not a scalable business. You cannot carry this business to the world. You can make a living, You can make $1. But we're looking for businesses that have billion-dollar potential.
So what business was I talking about?
At the time I was going to them with my AI business, with my AI training business. And they told me flat, said, Gerald, this is not a venture scalable business. This is not a business that you could scale to millions or hundreds of millions or billions of dollars. This business is limited by what you could do as a consultant or as a professional. And that is something I didn't understand at the time properly. And I am a well-seasoned business consultant. And I didn't understand that.
So what are you doing now that is different from that is making you that kind of $1 billion you're talking about?
Well, now I run a scalable business. I'm using technology to assist in the execution of certain fiduciary services. And that could be leveraged anywhere in the world. So the technology element.
And so what, you have an app or something? Or?
Well, I don't want to call it an app, but we are using technology and a technology approach to solving a business problem. And by and large, and one of the things that we've been invited through our work in AI to participate in initiatives. We definitely collaborate with the National Training Agency in development of competency standards for AI for Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean. And we were invited to participate in the Ministry of Trade Symposium on the development of a software industry in Trinidad and Tobago.
Software.
Yeah, and this is one of those spaces where we are so behind. And we have so many entrepreneurs and so many businesses.
So we're looking to create a kind of Silicon Valley in Trinidad and Tobago.
We would love to. But we slow on the draw, but we would love to. And
we can't say we slow on the draw because there's hardly, but I know people who are doing software like in HR and that kind of thing. But that's something we need in Trinidad and Tobago.
Well,
we need solution-based, tech-oriented businesses.
And one of the troubles that they have is a shortage of talent. There's a serious shortage of talent in terms of tech in Trinidad and Tobago. There's a serious shortage in terms of software developers, software engineers who understand AI native building. They're not exactly easy to find.
So many of them graduated from the University of the West Indies.
Well, I mean, I think that the current, and I mean, I'm on a committee with one of the current heads of that unit. I mean, good evening to Mr. Singh, and I think that they are trying their best to create the kind of future-ready graduate who could assist business in doing things that this age calls for. But by and large, the types of builders that businesses need to be competitive, they're very hard to get into. Very, very hard.
Is it that the how our culture was engineered?
Mm-hmm.
That the spaces for, and I say in this tongue in cheek, right?
Mm-hmm.
The spaces for good, all the spaces for good critical thinking and good business innovation is already utilized, because there are big companies like the Macals and the Macy's and them doing good business.
Of course, yeah.
And they employ the best. They're not really paying the best, but they employ some of the best people.
Yeah.
And they're doing very well.
Of course.
But from government, state-owned enterprises and other small businesses struggling, state-owned enterprises surviving because of service they're providing, and they have the whole the whole treasury at their disposal, meaning they get money from allocations and that kind of thing. But really and truly, other businesses, they're struggling.
Yeah.
Because even if some of them have been able to utilize some of the best technology, they aren't able to pay well to maintain the best and the brightest. And even where they are able to do that, they're still not getting the kind of innovative thinking or the best tech available to them to be able to do the things that, because as we say all the time, leadership and management is two different things.
Two different things.
And clearly you have a lot of managers, you don't have much leaders.
So it's a tough uphill battle.
But the question is, are people really thinking outside the box? Are we creating any real natural incubation or incubators to create that kind of tech, rather than just people going to school reading a book about some kind of technology development and coming out as university with a degree, and then they're coming out to look for a job? They're not creating anything, they're not doing anything significant to make any significant changes to our technology landscape or our productivity landscape.
The intervention, I believe, and unfortunately, it's always come back to government. The private sector drivers, the economic drivers of that diversification and that innovation, they do exist naturally in our economy.
They don't?
They don't exist. They drive the economic driver.
And that's because of our education system. You don't think so?
Partially, but
if we are taught at universities to think,
we don't do that.
Incentivized to think rather than
incentivized to pass the exam,
to read a book, what somebody write, try to learn something from it and pass the exam. Something you could stay a whole night and study a paper and pass it. You don't think things will be different?
I think that there are a lot of young people
to leave to graduate from university, you should be able to think and create something new, develop something. I mean, something real that could go to market with. You get patented with.
Yeah, we not configure that.
Otherwise, you can't consider yourself having a degree or a master's or a PhD or anything like that.
But that is, again, the economic drivers of that are not there. You could, and I mean, this now comes back to the first step of what is the role of the bank in fueling an entrepreneur class. Because if you come out with the skills, you got the training, you have the idea, you're willing to put in the work, you can't find $1. Nowhere, no matter how you try, you can't find $1. You can't make $1 here. Yeah? How are you going to sell a doubles or fix a car or do a ride share? The economic drivers of excellence in technology or excellence through innovation, they do exist. Because you could come out to do the most. The systems that support you growing or earning revenue, they are not really there. And they're not really there not only in Trinidad and Tobago, but the venture capital space, the small business or the startup banking space. These are very, very compressed throughout the Caribbean. You just can't find $1. And hopefully you can make $1, but most times you can't without help and without capital. Yeah? So I think that definitely the starting point of this is that we have to stimulate growth by making sure our bright young minds can access money, and that we put things in place to stimulate. And that was the heart of those consultations, that we have to stimulate the development of our software industry. Because data is the new oil, as they say. Yeah? So we have to make sure that our unique perspective and our unique view of the world can be used to create data-driven experiences and computer-driven products and services. Because that is the next thing after oil.
The next thing after oil?
Next thing after oil, they say oil, data is the new oil. And they're correct. I don't know if you're keeping track of what's going on in Iran, but you know Iran say, well, okay, now that we letting oil pass, you know, we want a fee for the cables that transmitted the data out of the Persian Gulf area. 25% of the world's data traffic goes through the Strait of Hormuz. Iran said they want a fee for these cables running through the water. So it tells you the importance that, you know, we could say, well, we don't worry with the oil now, let me go after the data. These are things that are going on in the world right now. So where do our young people fit? How do they earn? How do they grow? How do those existing businesses adapt to our AI first, tech first world? I'm not
Call
sure.
us 342-0081, 466-5391. Certainly you are quiet today. Give us a call. Help us here. Help us answer some of these questions. What can we do?
Yeah, but I know that this is not a favorite topic of a lot of people. Easier to rap about crime and
Politics
Kamla
and
Penny.
things.
Kamla
Well,
Penny.
there's politics too. You know? I mean, this what we're talking here is politics too. It's just a different kind of politics.
It's
you
a
know,
different kind of politics.
we talk about. I like to talk about productivity because at the end of the day, it boils down to that. If we really want to be truly wealthy, we have to be able to utilize our human resource
Indeed.
in ways that they haven't been utilized before. And the more people working and productive, the more people being able to get to work quicker, easier, transit from one point to the next, the more of those things will be the more productive we will become. So, you know, at Trinidad and Tobago, with 100% of the people who could work working, is great. And more so, working and comfortable. Right? But that would mean that we can't be working to produce things that only we will benefit from, because we wouldn't be making any money, we wouldn't be productive. We had to work to produce things that the entire Caribbean or the entire world could benefit from, just like China and those kind of places. Almost 90% of what China and them produce is marketed outside China.
I have an interesting view on this.
So productivity is not a problem there. We have a serious problem with productivity here, and we crying out every day. The acres of diamond is right in our backyard. I mean, we're not understanding it.
I believe that the ultimate thing that Trinidad and Tobago has to offer is lifestyle.
Is what?
Is lifestyle.
Okay. Explain.
Ultimately, we are not a competitive producer of commodities. And we will, at some point, fall behind as it relates to where our efficiencies lie. However, what we have is a beautiful, high-skilled, potentially technologically advanced, economically advanced, industrially advanced country in a safe place. Safe from a geographic perspective, could be safe.
Let's take this call.
Yes.
Good evening, caller.
Good day, gentlemen. Good program since early on. I mean, tell me something. Is what you all think about the this landlord tax? Because if you have a place and you're trying to fix it up to rent it for an additional income, and now you have to pay the landlord tax, registration tax, which is 2.5, although you might be renting for so much of money, and then you have to come now and pay a quarterly of the total income. Let me ask you something too as well, Mr. Roloff. Tell me something. If you rented a place for $1,000 a month, once you rent in a place, you can't qualify for old age pension. Is that, or could you qualify for 2,000 if they're paying 3,000?
Well, I'm not too familiar with that part of the whole scheme. What I can talk about is probably the landlord tax, right? And I think the landlord tax is just another creative way to get around the property tax, because you see the property tax was a bigger spread. And
yeah, but you see the landlord tax, right? Remember, it have so many homes that not renting, and they will be paying any tax, and they enjoy the facility of the garbage and the maintenance and whatever. We know the maintenance is almost nil, but like the garbage collection and things like that, because and they are not and they have sometimes a couple both working. You understand? So they wouldn't be paying any property tax. Is a stupid thing. I think a very stupid thing.
I'm not sure what you're asking.
Right.
What I can say. Go ahead.
I kind of understand where you're coming from.
The land and building tax, everybody was paying that. Every property was paying that, although it wasn't an accurate figure, because we were paying $86 or $36 a year for 2 buildings and a property. It was one, and then we added on another one. So that was, some people were paying $100, $100 and something, right? But if they had moved around and just say, okay, you have 2 buildings, pay $200. You have 1 building, pay $100. You know how much millions they would have accumulated? So now, it's only the renters now going to pay this unless they come in with something else. What? Maybe they come in with something else for the other homeowners who doesn't have tenants.
Okay.
Because people were discussing that on the long line, on that step where you have to stand up so much hours and then go inside and sit down and wait again. Because it's a real jamming to pay that right now, right? Because people didn't really announce it as they should to get people to come out, and that's one of the things with the country. Look at simple little things that you so much time you have with the media, the stations and them. Announce certain things, remind people of certain things. You understand? 20 people still don't know that the deadline gone, and they extended it to the end of May.
And that's
You know?
the landlord tax.
The landlord tax, the deadline was the 30th of April. And then, if it is you want to get at the bigger fishes who rent for plenty more money, go at them in a different way. You understand?
Well,
it's 2.5.
Here what I would have done. Me personally, if you ask me, I would say the landlord tax was a good tax. Was a good way to earn revenue. That is to dissect who earning from the property from who not earning from the property. But that was a good way to do that.
But it's not a replacement for property tax.
Just no, it's not. It's not a replacement. Well, nobody are paying property tax. So what I'm saying is, this was a good way to say, because before under the property tax, and this is just my way of analyzing it thing. Before under the property tax scheme, what was happening was that everybody who have a property was valued, and they created a rental value of the property, what the property could rent for, and then they bill you according to that, right? A percentage of that, right?
That was the property tax.
That was the property tax.
But that was flawed. That was really poor because it wasn't really
just now.
Right, go ahead.
This one, to me, is more equitable. Because this one is going at the people who is actually earning.
Renting, right, earning from the property.
From the property. If I was the government, I would have gone a little further. I would have incentivized, because there are a lot of people who will get away from that still. I would have incentivized the people who are renting by giving them something off on the income tax. But for them to get that, they will have to report what the rental
what they renting at.
What they renting
right.
at.
Because this one you could also, I think, pay it at the end of the year against your taxes.
Right. So if you could get back something from what you're renting, that would ease up things like HDC, and that will do a lot.
This is the whole thing about the revenue. The thing they wanted to bring a stream whereby they know everything about you. You understand?
Yeah, exactly.
Because you have to let people not paying taxes, right? In a lot of areas, and considering a lot of other things too as well, not just property, like boat and this and that and whatever thing. People not declaring what they really have. You understand?
Yeah.
So, but it still should have, like the land and building taxes, as I saying, they should have just let the people pay a little more and have that running all the time for the number of years that they shut it down.
Right. So while we understand that, what the government might be saying is, if people things hard, and better we just don't let nobody pay that, and we just target the people who making money from the property, which I see as good. But I mean, different people see different things. But
because on the line there, in the line there, people were saying that they think they're gonna give people notice because they have people rented for plenty less than the 2005. So that means it could be hard on some people again. You understand?
So
I don't think it was thought out properly. I mean, if you want to you say that good thing there. I mean, you're getting a little income from the people who own it from the property. You understand? But I don't think it was thought out properly, because for the smaller man, as people see right on the steps in the line there, that they think they're going to have to give people notice and stop renting the property. You understand? Because plenty people renting for less than 2,500.
That I don't think that making sense, because what you renting for, what you paying as opposed to what you renting for is minuscule.
No, to register is 2005, and then Well, what you have to pay is a small amount. It's 2.5% of your annual rent.
Right. So that is minuscule. I mean, if let's say rent is $3,500, I just say like most people rent. What it is to pay 2.5% of that and pay $2,500 to register? That's minuscule.
Yeah, I have to chime in here and say something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that people who instead renting for people renting at $1,000 a month. You understand?
Well, if you're renting at $1,000 a month and you have to register once for $2,500, and then,
well, let me hope it's one.
Well, you had to register once.
Let me hope it's just one.
If it is you are earning $12,000 income for the year on your property,
and you pay $2,500.
You pay $2,500. You pay 2.5% adjusted from your amount. So let's just say that for the year you're paying $3,500.
Right.
For your first year, and after that you're paying less for your one room that you're renting in a place for $1,000 a month, or so you say.
Right.
That is still income, and the problem that we face.
It's still a small amount, like $100 a quarter. You understand?
This problem we face, and I empathize with the people who are accustomed to how taxation used to be. The fact of the matter is, land and building tax did not raise since the 70s, I believe. Yeah? So it is not tenable for people to owe. Like, let me try and remember there's a particular property that my family was helping to administrate. We're talking about maybe about 100 acres. And taxing the whole thing was $200.
True.
So you're not in a tenable situation. So is it that people will be in less of an uproar? Let's say they say we're keeping the same land and building tax.
No, what they're going to do is upgrade it, as I say, because...
Yeah, but they can't upgrade it to $200. So I would suggest to you that if it is they were telling people pay $1,500 or $2,000 a year, which is in practice what the property tax regime was asking people to do, pay what we consider a fair market value as on your tax. Let me call it a $1,500 to $2,000. For larger properties, maybe at $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a year, which is what it was ending up being. And we were in an uproar. So let me say he didn't call it property tax. Let me say he said the same land and building tax, but we adjust for inflation. Property tax, land and building tax is now $1,500 a year. Land and building tax is $2,000 a year. The same uproar would have happened because people became comfortable with $3 tax and $5 tax and $20 tax. And then we find, well, okay, well, if it is US paying $30 before, we could pay $100, we could pay $150 now. But those aren't realistic numbers. We have to run a country. And the other side of it is, if it is that the government, if it is you are not getting tax PAYE from your employer, you're probably not paying tax. So I know about landlords saying, well, I collecting rent tax free. Man have been collecting $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 a month rent. They're not paying $1 tax.
What I'm saying too, I mean, there's a lot of people, very, very huge homes, right? And so on, and they wouldn't be paying anything, any kind of tax except the PAYE, and they enjoy the facilities.
They're not taking that. I mean, at the time when equitable tax across the board for residential properties was proposed, it's been a political issue since 2009. The fact of the matter is, we don't want to pay tax. That's the heart of the issue, you know. And I'm telling you something. The tax, regardless of what you want to call it, tax collection is coming into the 21st century. And everybody will have to, because the inefficiencies that led to it. The bottom line is, everything was manual in the BIR. They're still filling out ledgers and writing in book and that kind of thing. The minute you start to put technology to work, people will be if you just enforce the existing tax code, people will be forced to pay their fair share. So how do we now as we are being dragged into the real world, and that's unfortunately what it is. Because landlords aren't paying income tax. The bottom line is across the board, landlords are not paying income tax on their rents. So now the system is demanding that those who earn from their properties pay
the tax.
So let me say we didn't do that. Are we going to make sure that everybody pays income tax according to how they earn? I don't think we're there yet.
But remember that is an earning thing, and you're not paying, the people wasn't paying for that all the time.
Correct.
How much number? Yes. Look, a man have eight properties went at 3,500, not too far from me. He wasn't paying nothing all the time.
Right. Probably still a pain. So I would suggest that perhaps one of these days on Money Monday, we see if we could invite somebody from the Board of Inland Revenue.
But my position on this.
But there's a good, it's a good program, and you all mentioned a great thing last week where you spoke about borrowing and put it away and keep paying back, because some people do have the discipline to really save it. If every once you want to save, you won't save it. But once you borrow and you have to pay it back. And I knew of
and that have a two sides to it. I mean, that if you borrow money just to save,
you have to pay the interest. But you see the discipline too. Yeah. I know for a woman who bought a business like that, you know. She borrowed and paid down, pay back a little bit, borrow, pull down, and I mean that's how people used to choose Susu and things on time to, you understand? Mm-hmm. But Susu didn't really have interest to see, you know.
But the good thing about that is that you create a signature, a signature with the bank, and you have now a history with the bank. It means that you can now go into business. You can do all kind of different things because
you should be able to purchase a business, yeah. All right, well, take care and keep up the good work. I mean, you're learning a lot every day.
Yes.
Yeah, man. All the best.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay,
then. Right. So one good thing that came out of that particular dialogue is that if we, before what was happening with the proposed taxes system with respect to the property tax, everybody who have a building, who have a house, who have whatever, would pay based on the rental value of the property, even if you're not renting it, right? And we were complaining vehemently about that. Now we have a more equitable system. Only the people who rented the property will pay a small amount, but still it have loopholes in that where a man could get away. And I'm saying to fix that loophole, give the man who paying rent an incentive to report. Right? So if I report this in my income tax, then I get a rebate at 10% or whatever I pay in my rent.
Yeah.
That is an excellent move if they do that.
And I hope they do.
That will make a whole lot of sense.
You know an interesting technique in Singapore that stopped unreported financial transactions is they made every bill a lottery ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Correct. Yeah.
So if it is that your bill call $1 million or something to collect, yeah, people stop not reporting their bills. Everybody submitting every bill because they were losing the chance to win this $1 million.
Correct.
And they, so you could engineer some inefficiencies out.
Yes.
Inefficiencies out of the system.
You get more money than you have to pay out if you do that.
Correct.
You earn more money than because people now have an incentive
Correct.
to report.
Correct.
And this is not even out of the box thinking. This is critical thinking, of course.
Of course.
But it's not even out of the box thinking because these are things that certainly governments could do to solve some of the problems we have.
If you one day we will get Minister Tanku to come to Money Monday.
Well, we could certainly ask.
We could certainly ask.
Right? But interesting that we talking money here because there's a lot to decipher in even simple things like what we call simple things like income tax, tax returns and that kind of thing, and how you can get around the system to, you know, invest in things like annuities, invest in things like different things for even for your business that will reduce your what you have to pay in terms of taxes and also make you more wealthy.
Indeed.
Either down the road or at the moment.
Well,
because I think things like annuities and things, remember the government is saying that you will be a burden to the state when you reach retirement age. But if you send money ahead, they will give you preferential tax treatment to do that. Right? Once you don't try to take it out before a certain age, I think it's 55 or whatever. And that in itself is an incentive to, you said earlier when people was afraid of insurance because say this is a scheme and all that.
Believe in insurance.
But that's an incentive.
Yes.
That certainly is an incentive to invest your money, send your money ahead. Right?
Well,
because while you might say, well, inflation will mash up that. At the end of the day, you'll save some money.
It works for the people who
and
are engaged in proper financial planning.
When you reach 60 and thing, and you can't work again, or they'll allow you to work again in your workplace where you reach retirement age, making room for a younger person or whatever, you now have something to look forward to.
Mr. Matheson, let me share something sad with you. Now, it's not so sad because the person in question is not in a bad position. Overall, they live in their own home, they have children who support them, etc. But there's a lady, I met her on Saturday, and I didn't charge her for it. I just sat down and talked with her for 2 hours. So you know now they've moved the age for NIS claiming back from 60 to 65. And they have started to tell certain people who would have been able to claim at 60 that they now have to wait for 65. So whereas she thought that she was retired, she now has to find her income for a year and a half until she reaches the age where she could actually claim her benefit, and she doesn't have anything in place for retirement income. No, well, she wasn't saving sufficiently. She had a very small annuity, etc. And I pointed out to her, I said, ma'am, when you now start to get a pension, the first 5 years, you might be able to do something with that money. But remember, that is your fixed income for the rest of your life, and every year, inflation eating between 6 to 9% of the buying power of that money. So you will start to feel the depreciation of the value of your money if you're lucky within 5 years. How it is that you're going to deal with that? And she said, Gerald, I don't know. I say, at the end of the day, you are at the point where you're living at you and you have successful children, nobody go watch your staff. But there are many seniors who don't have that luxury or don't have that support system. And we're seeing more and more and more seniors, some of whom have been responsible overall. Overall, they went to work and they saved their money and they did sensible things during their working life. And now, in their twilight of the years, some of them are homeless. Some of them have lost everything. And this is a failure of financial planning. So one of the things that we have to be very clear in our messaging, and what I told the lady on Mother's Day Eve, as long as you're alive, you have time. You might not have as good a chance as somebody else, but the point of the matter is you're not too old to make the difference. And I told her one of the key things she could do as a woman in her 60s is open a business. And I did talk to her about exactly what you asked at the beginning of our time together here this evening. The kind of businesses that you could run in your sleep.
What kind of business is that again?
Well, definitely e-commerce is one of them. E-commerce is one of them. So you have to begin to, and that's why I told her that it's within your reach, even at your age, to become wealthy, but you have to be willing to put in the work. And if you have to work for the next 2 years, I would suggest that by all means work. You have something to offer, but open a business as well. Because when inflation starts to eat up that NIS, your question now is, where is the shortfall going to come from? And these are the risks that we face in retirement. We all face them.
And some people don't even understand what we mean by that.
No.
Inflation.
No.
Inflation is the power of your dollar. If your dollar could have purchased, if $1 could have purchased 10 dynamits. I'm just using a good example.
10 good and natural ginger tea.
Let me use the dynamit example.
No problem.
If a dynamit was 10 cents.
Yes.
A couple of years ago. That is 20 how much years ago.
Yeah.
Right? And today, or when you ready to retire, your $1 only buying one. Right? It means that 10 cents, you lose 90% of your purchasing power of your dollar.
Mr. Matheson, I am 45 years old. I remember as a young fella, 6-7 years, going by Miss Dora's shop in Salazar Trace in Mora. Good afternoon, Iwer George, my neighbor. Yeah?
Iwer was your neighbor?
I was my neighbor, what do you mean? I'm 4 doors away from Iwer in Mora.
Serious?
Yeah.
Okay.
And going by Miss Dora's shop, when you go by Miss Dora's shop with $1, $1, you're getting some red mango, you're getting some paradise plum, you're getting some lollipop, you're getting some cigarette sweetie. Yeah? I remember it had some drink it used to have for 50 cents or something like that, to 25 cents. $1 to $2 in the shop.
Pennacool and all that.
Pennacool, 25 cents. Yeah? When you go in the shop with $1 in the late 80s, early 90s, you have a haul you're coming back with. I remember as a young adult going Costat and living Mount Lambert by Miss Mohan. Good afternoon, Miss Mohan, my best landlady ever. Miss Mohan rent was $500 a month, and she raised it to $600 a month. She's renting a room in her house. I used to go, when you go by Anchorage for free drink, $75. You're drunk, drinks got done, and you go in the quick shop in the morning before you go home, because you have to eat something when you reach home. And you're buying a half dozen eggs, and a bacon, and a butter bread, and a Cokes, $30. $30.
Getting a bread.
You're getting a bread, 6 eggs,
a pack of bacon.
A pack of bacon, all kind of thing, a snack. You're making a spread when you go home. You're sleeping like a baby. Yeah?
You're getting everything right there. But that's
now,
$30.
In 2026,
$30, I mind that egg.
Boy, by the time you can't get the half dozen egg and a bread. You can get one or the other.
That's what we're talking about when we talk about inflation.
You can get one or the other. So the difference between $1 giving you a handful of snacks in '89, $30 giving you a whole spread after $75 free drinks party in 2001, 2002. And $30 can buy you a bread and something to eat with the bread in 2026. That is the reality of inflation over a 30-year period. So what's going to happen to the value of money in 30 years?
And that's what we had to also, you see, if you're saving your money in an investment, I mean, you correct me if I'm wrong. Let's say that you're getting, well, you don't have them big percentages like you used to get a long time.
Nah.
Well, I say, the savings and safe investment, blue chip investment or something, and you're getting 3%, is the value of is inflation surpassing that?
Inflation absolutely surpasses it. However, you have to look at your investment strategy. You have to look on if your investment is compounding or if it's simple interest or compounding interest.
So if it's compounding, at least you'll pass it because it's 3% and 3% and 3%.
So the important thing in this last little 10 minutes of the show we have to say is that when it comes to that kind of retail investing, time is your friend. The time value of money is the critical element. Are you investing early enough if you're not going to take the higher risk route, which is entrepreneurship? Entrepreneurship,
entrepreneurship, some would say, when you talk high risk now, we're talking about things like Bitcoin and all them kind of things. To me, that thing is high risk.
Not really. But
for me,
we're going to have a whole crypto show one of these days.
I think that them thing is high risk because I still do 100%, 100%, and that's 100% feeling it with Bitcoin and although Bitcoin and thing, making the mark outside there. But in terms of buying property, in terms of building a house to rent and that kind of thing, that still, to me, is one of the premier kind of investment. Right? Nothing else. Right? Blue chip investment, investing in gold and that kind of thing. But outside of that, I'm seeing everything else is plenty money but plenty risk.
So we hope that in the course of making Money Monday real, we will be inviting and we will have the participation of people who are seriously in the market. Our long-time friends at JMMB Investments, I hope that they could come and demystify. I don't want to speak out of turn because I am not at this time an SEC registered investment advisor. I encourage everybody only take investment advice from the Securities and Exchange Commission accredited personnel. Don't take advice from people off the side of the street, even very knowledgeable people like myself. Do your due diligence and try to get as financially savvy as possible, because part of this is how the institutions all work together to create an environment in which we could be prosperous. But the other side of it is we have to be among the wise people who take the master's coins and put them to good use and not bury them under the ground or waste them.
So ladies and gentlemen, we had a very nice show this evening. Certainly we were able to drink. I drank 2 cups of tea.
I also drank 2 cups of tea.
I drank the good and natural ginger tea with peppermint and honey, and then I drank the one with no added sugar. I ain't so favor the added sugar, but people are addicted to sugar. So
sugar is life, yeah.
Right, sugar is life.
Yes.
Some people are addicted to sweetness. I know that kind of sweetness for me.
Yes. You have other kinds in mind.
Yeah, certainly. But good and natural ginger tea is the way to go. It certainly is a refreshing drink to drink any time of the day. I had it today. I was feeling a little sleepy with the peppermint and honey, but then again, peppermint is something that
relaxes you.
Yeah, relaxes you. The peppermint is a good thing to me. It's a good thing if you have problems sleeping. Yes. I would recommend that. It's a good thing to drink before you go to sleep. Before you go to sleep, drink a good and natural ginger tea with peppermint and honey. That certainly will put you to sleep. Right? The good and natural ginger tea with no added sugar, that is good too. It's a very nice, refreshing drink. And you're drinking it and not even knowing you're drinking it without sugar. And then, of course, you have the one with added sugar for those who love sweetness.
Good thing.
So we had a good show. We spoke about how to manage your money, and I guess we could really continue this kind of segment on a Monday, where we talk about. We didn't have much people calling in, but I'm sure they were listening.
Oh yes.
And I'm sure they got some things from what you had to say, and myself. And Of course, tomorrow we will go back to our normal show.
Crime.
Not necessarily crime, but we would look at the both sides of the baton, and we would look at how they batten and bowling. My position is that if they work together, we will have a good cricket game.
Amen to that.
Right? So, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of the show, and certainly tomorrow we look forward to you being here, and we look forward to even a better show tomorrow. Right? So now we will say our goodbyes. Goodbye until tomorrow.
Nature's Touch Massage Therapy and Nutrition and Nature's Touch Youth Health Caravan invites you to join us live on the Street 919 FM every second and fourth Friday morning from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. We are located at number 3, 7th Avenue North,